Buckle up, sports fanatics. This is the Sports Chasers Podcast, your HQ for in-depth sports talk. Join host Kevin L. Warren and crew as they dissect the hottest stories, ignite debates, and bring you closer to the action. From locker room whispers to expert takes, we cover it all. It's game time, so strap in and grab a drink. The Sports Chasers Podcast starts right now.
Hey, good evening. What's happening, everybody? What's going on, everybody? It's another edition of the Sports Chasers Podcast coming to you live and direct, man. We're going to have a great night, talk about sports, man. And as y'all can see, I got my orange and blue on and got the big sign lit up in orange. I'm back. It was tough last night watching that. But, hey, we'll get into all of that, man. Make sure you like, click, and subscribe to our channel. Make sure you hit the bells for all the notifications. And those on the podcasting side that you're listening at the sound of my voice, y'all know what it is. Y'all give us that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-star review, 5-star review. And hey, love us or hate us, let us know how we're doing. And we definitely appreciate y'all for doing that, man. Hey, let's meet the crew. We got D-Dubs. What's going on tonight, sir? How are you tonight, sir? I promise y'all, I tried to turn this frown into a smile, whatever the saying is, man. But
I don't know, man. How you doing, man? Yeah, you didn't do it. You didn't do nothing to me, man. It's
no, it's part on 34th Street, New York City. Yeah,
it's part of being this.
Yeah, part of being that fan. Yeah, we got 29 more minutes, kid. So
thank you. I caught myself, but yeah, man, I'm here. It's Thursday night. After a Wednesday night, stayed up late. It's awful.
Yeah, it's awful. Yeah, you got a 14-point lead with 2.5 minutes to go. You got to win that game, man. In basketball, professional basketball, I would say.
Man, I don't know what else to say, man. I mean, just I've been here before with this team. People are always different.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, man.
Charles Smith.
I'm not going to get myself this worked up again until these guys actually get to a finals or get all the way. I'm not doing it no more. No, this is a bad feeling, man. I hate this thing. I hate it. It's a bad feeling. Go ahead.
DA, what you got, man? Good afternoon, DA. How was it? Good evening, I should say. How are you, sir? What's going on, bro?
I'm like your brother. I went to sleep, so yeah. I didn't stay up. I saw the highlights, and they have, listen, it was a good game. You're probably not going to see two more equally matched teams than this in a series. So I think that we're going to see a lot of these things because they're basically evenly matched. Well, except for some dudes on the bench that the Knicks don't have because we don't play. But again, my thing is I'm a coach guy first. I let the coaches coach, the players play, and if the team is not prepared for a situation, then that's on the coach, and they got to take responsibility for that. So, and that's what I saw, and I don't think it's over by any means based upon the fact that, this team has fought back itself during this playoff series. I mean, the season of the playoffs in the NBA. And I think they have an opportunity to play through this and kind of make things happen. An opportunity, not saying they will.
You're right. Again, it was a phenomenal game. I mean, if you didn't stay up to watch it, the game was great. It definitely went catapult. We're gonna get to Dan because Dan had a excellent game with Edmonton and what's the team? Dallas. So that was it. 5 goals in the third, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
That was crazy too. I'll let Dan get to that one. And yeah, man. So forgive me for my somber. I'm gonna try to get myself out of it.
Oh, melancholy.
Yeah. But it's crazy.
But would you rather be I guess I have to be the calm and storm because I was utterly distraught last night. That sucked last night. Would you rather be a New York Knicks fan or Toronto Maple Leafs fan?
100% the Knicks.
You always rather be the team that's still playing, right? So,
Hey,
Even if they weren't.
you know, so,
the Leafs haven't won since '67. The Knicks haven't won since '72. Won it all.
73.
73. Excuse me. They faced the Lakers in the finals in 72 and lost, but they went back and they faced the Lakers again and beat them again. But Dan, good afternoon, good evening, sir. How are you tonight?
I'm
Dan,
doing good. How's it going, guys?
Dan
Everybody
is
good?
in rare form. His first ball, he just came out. He's like, please, the Knicks.
Yeah.
Let's be serious.
Dan is going to break it all down. He wasn't here on Monday to give all the smoke. I was able to start a little fire, man, but Dan is going to absolutely talk about some of the misgivings with the Toronto Maple Leaf, and in the new series that you got Carolina and Florida. I got them on my screen here. I didn't know Carolina has lost 13 straight Eastern Conference final games.
Finals.
yeah.
Yes. It's not
What
good for,
in the
but it's not.
heck?
Don't look too good for Carolina either, man. But
That's 3 sweeps and just this one loss, right? Jeez.
yeah, shout out to my man Simmons, man. He went down to Raleigh to this evening to go catch the playoff game tonight. So
Simmons, I hope that 3.5 jaunt from the Queen City to
that shoots 4.5 hours because as soon as you get close, boy, it starts to.
Oh yeah, that traffic on 40, whatever.
It's 40.
well, he had a head start. He lived
40.
around 3:30, so they'll see.
Oh, okay.
He'll tell me all about it when he get back. But yeah,
they'll be dropping the puck in about 31 minutes here, man. So, man, great week of sports so far. I mean, this is what you want, right? You want some competition. What's that? What was that? DA probably knows. Ed Dan probably too. ABC Sports when the what's his name used to do the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat.
Yep.
Well,
What was his name?
what was his name?
It wasn't Howard. It was
No,
Was it-
it wasn't Howard they used to do before the show, but he did the Keith Jackson. It was
Man.
Keith Jackson.
Was it Keith Jackson?
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, it was that's pretty much what's been going on this week, man. Oh, excuse me, no, DA, you may be mistaken. It's Jim McKay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, I looked it up real quick, man. Good evening to everybody that's in the chat. Appreciate you, Debbie, VLAC, all those first timers, man. Check us out as we we'll be talking some sports. We'll do the news here in a second, man. But let me go to the news. Let me go to DA.
Yeah.
DA, the Tush Push, it stays.
I told you it would.
From CBS Sports, from Brian DiArdo. Yes. Let me read very slowly because in the last couple of weeks, I have been getting smoked in the comments at YouTube. Say, "Hey man, you can't read," and yo, what's wrong with this guy, man?
New York City public school education.
It's PS247, baby. You know what it is, 346. So I'm going to take my time and read, man. So yeah, I did go to school this week. I just going to take my time, man. I can read. I promise you I can, man. Shout out to all those in the comments. Like you said, we love them. Love them or hate us, whatever you want to say, man. We're good with it. As long as it's not personal. If it's personal, we're gonna X you out or put you on timeout, man. What it is, man. But be respectful when you comment, man. So let me read here. And this article is called "The Tush Push" from CBS Sports from Brian DiArdo. And some of the key highlights we got here: the Tush Push played popularized by the Eagles will continue to be permitted in 2025 season. A proposal by the Green Bay Packers to ban the play received 22 votes in favor, failing 2 short of the required 24 for approval. The Eagles owner Jeffrey Lurie and former center Jason Kelsey attended the league meetings to advocate for the play, presenting videos and arguments supporting its legality. The Tush Push involves teammates pushing the quarterback forward during the short yard situations, a tactic that has proven highly effective for the Eagles. Critics, including the Packers cited player safety and player impacts on the game's integrity as reasons for the proposed ban. The play contributed significantly to the Eagles' success, including their Super Bowl 59 victory, with quarterback Jalen Hurts scoring multiple touchdowns using this method. They say here, while the play remains legal, discussions about its fairness and safety are expected to continue in future league meetings. DA, your thoughts on the tush push?
Just told you with the last thing you said. No one promised you fair.
Nope.
No one promised you fair. Like, you get a bigger defensive line, and you hold on those three big guys that you get on the sidelines, Grady Jackson and Vince Wilfork and another dude, and you put them in when you see the tush push coming, and then you'll have more success. There's nothing else you can do, guys. Right? You just can't outlaw the play, though. That's really whack. If go old school, that's just really whack. And I don't want to say anything else to get me banned. And so that's really banned. Get me banned. But yeah, that's just whack. Like, either you beat it or you don't. But there's no one been hurt during a tush push in the last 3 years.
Well, I think that's what they was alluding to about the. They say, "Hey, show the evidence," and nobody can put any evidence or anything like that. So
so that's that.
So
no more I can do with that, man. And the reality is, because of his strength and athleticism, if you had a quarterback sneak, he'd still make it. So there still wouldn't be much you could do about it if you got a good offensive line. So. And that's what most people that know the game probably are saying. Let's move on to something else.
Oh, and I will. As I just
no, not us. I'm saying the NFL.
Oh,
not us. I'm saying the NFL can move over to doing something. I'm saying the NFL can move on to doing something, more constructive with their time. And,
no, I got you, Dan. Real quick, and I don't think I got Dan's on this one on Monday because that's when I reported, and then they had the league meetings. Dan, your thoughts on the tush push being safe for another year?
I don't want to really go there, but it's not like that they're putting a small person behind the line and picking them up and throwing them. Like, all this debate is that teams can't stop it, and if you can't stop it, what are you going to do? You try to get rid of it. And it's not like we've said a million times, it's not like every other team in the league cannot do this. It was like when they first started going the shotgun, with a quarterback. It was, revolutionary, and everybody, but everybody could do it. They just chose not to. So I just think it's a bunch of BS because, like you said, no one's gotten hurt from that play. As long as they're not picking the guy up and just kind of rugby scrumming them in there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if that's the case, then you got to call it.
Right.
Other than that, I mean, it's just the fact that teams can't stop it, so they want to get rid of it.
Well, it's here.
Much to do about nothing.
Yep.
Hey, we can move on.
As I will. And I'm going to go to the Detroit Lions. The Lions, and this is from CBS Sports, from Brian Diardo again. The Lions proposed a change to the NFL playing seeding format, suggesting that teams be seeded based solely on regular season records, eliminating the current guarantee of home playoff games for division winners, regardless of their records. The Lions withdrew the proposal, before it could be voted on, recognizing insufficient support among NFL owners. A minimum of 24 out of 32 votes is required for such a change to pass. The initiative was partly a response to the scenarios like the previous season, where the 14-3 Minnesota Vikings had to play an away wildcard game against the LA Rams due to divisional standings, despite having a better record. Commissioner Roger Goodell reportedly supports revisiting the playoff format to enhance competitiveness and maintain intern interest in late season games. Through the proposal lacked the necessary backing from team owners. Figures like the Pittsburgh Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin opposed such changes, emphasizing the importance of division rivalries and the tradition of rewarding division winners with home playoff games. While the proposal was withdrawn, discussions about playoff seeding reforms may continue, especially in the context of potential future changes in the NFL regular season structure. Who's the most pissed off face I looked at? I'll give it to D-Dubs. You don't look so pissed off, so you pissed off about other things, but go ahead. Your thoughts on Lions.
I could have sworn we hit this on Monday, but first of all, I don't want to hear nothing for the Detroit Lions. They don't even got enough stock to be talking about making playoffs and who they should be. They just got to the dance, and it's been almost how long it's been before we've seen Detroit actually doing stuff. So
it was 90 something.
Yeah. So furthermore, first of all, they ain't got no skin in the game to be talking anything about playoffs and about who should be nothing. So that's what I say to all this. This just, you know what, Detroit? How about you just win your games, control what you can control, and everything will be fine. But every time we get pissed off, every time, just like this tush push, every time you can't beat something, then you want to complain about it, and then it's been around. Everybody, like Dan said, everybody got the opportunity to use the tush push, whatever. And the Detroit Lions, just win your games and win your playoff game that you got at home, and you'll be fine. But go ahead. That's all I got.
Yeah, that's all I got. Yeah, like I said, we reported this on the other day, and the Lions withdrew their vote and stating that they knew they wasn't going to get enough votes for this. So
yeah. So why are you talking?
No one believes in it. No one believes in it.
Yeah.
Win your games.
Win your games, dog.
Yeah.
So
win your
simple
games.
as that.
Everybody has a schedule that's each conference is different. Like we said on Monday,
right?
Each conference has a different schedule, and it may be slighted. No one does it on purpose. But one year the NFC South is bad, and they say the AFC East plays them. Mm-hmm. Well, the AFC Eastern has a leg up because the NFC South is bad, but they didn't make the NFC South bad. They were just bad that year. So you can't knock, the Jets if they win and with a 9-7 or whatever record, and nor can you knock the Tampa Bay from winning their division at 7 games. It's their division. They did what they needed to do to be where they needed to be. So why are we have to start trying to canceling rules. That's what we are in a state of canceling everything. Like, we don't like it. You go tell daddy, and then you cancel. Don't like the tush push. Tell Goodell, and he cancels it. You don't like where you're sliding in the playoffs. You don't win your games. Washington comes to your house and beats you. Now we changing rules, right?
I need a crying button on here, my stream deck, man. Yeah, I gotta go.
So we're gonna stop just canceling everything you don't like, and sometimes we just have to play through things, America. Play through them and keep it moving. That's all.
Dan, you had something before we move on.
Yep, I'm the oddball in the group.
Uh-oh.
You remember Sesame Street? One of these things ain't like the other. Here we go.
Yes.
I get the point of win your games. Okay, cool. Minnesota won 14 and lost 3. They had to go on the road. The NFC, whatever it is, the Kohler Toilet Bowl with the Carolina Panthers, Tampa, and all them.
So
they get a home game for winning 7 games. Take care of your business. Win your games.
Yeah.
Get a better record. Get 14-3. So that whole you win your division, you get a home game is BS.
But Dan,
it should be the best teams get the home field.
But Dan, the thing is with that, and this you could be right. My only point with that is that every team gets this go round. Like, nobody doesn't get the bad division. Everybody gets a bad division every 4 years or 3 years or whatever it is. So, and you can never tell when the division is going to be bad, right? So the AFC, essentially, besides Kansas City, was a bad division. Denver didn't have a winning record.
So what's wrong with the top game winners?
What I'm saying
getting the home field.
What I'm saying is, if your conference in the NFC played that conference and ended up benefiting that year, that's fine, because the next year then they won't. Then they got the AFC East and they won't benefit, or whatever. But everybody gets a fair shot at this. That's all I'm saying. Everybody gets a fair shot. You don't get a fair shot every year, but everybody gets a fair shot.
But we can go round and round on this. But if you look at the AFC East, they had Tom Brady 10, 12 years in a row, they were the best team in that division, right? The AFC South hasn't been good forever.
Forever.
And usually, whoever comes out of the AFC North is 2, 3, 4 games over 500 because they beat the hell out of each other.
Yep.
So the divisions are the same every year.
But
it's now Buffalo is taking the place of New England.
Right.
And they're going to run rampant on that thing until Josh Allen decides to retire. So, like, the AFC is going to stay the same. The NFC, whatever, that's a different division. You use the same rules apply over there. And if you're going to cry that, it needs to be the best records, the AFC's, a lot worse than the NFC, go 1 through 16 out of all 32. So I think it's bad that you reward a crappy team with a home game when there is a team that played way better than them, has a way better record, and they got to go on the road.
Well,
when they earned it.
I think because, Dan, I understand. You're right, because you're using from the global or macro whole division thing. But, yeah, you weren't crappy in your conference, and that's what counts. You won your conference. And that's all, like, as an athlete, is you only can play the schedule in front of you. You only can play the schedule.
You don't get rewarded for doing well.
Oh, hey, man, listen. You got rewarded because you get 3 wild card teams.
Well, that's the teams that are terrible got in.
Well, no, because like there were years when it was the Niners. I think it was Niners, Cardinals.
Because with that logic, you can get rid of the wild card games.
Like all 3 got in. The
and
Niners,
just take the
Seattle,
top 8.
or whatever got in. They all get in. Because they had the best team, whoever won the division, and then the next 2 teams had the next 2 best records in the whole NFC. So then you should have those 3 in. So it does reward, but you get the wild card for 2 teams that have the best records after the division winners. So
I get that, but when you have 7+ wins more than
I know, I understand what you're saying, man, but
that's stupid.
So you can say that too. So are you saying that? And I'm just asking. So what was it? Tampa Bay, right? NFC South, the garbage pail of the NFC per se, and they win their division. They did the best they could with the team they had, and they won their division. And they were 8-8 when they came out of it. So you're saying they don't belong in the playoffs?
No, I'm saying they belong in the playoffs, but they don't deserve a home game.
But they won their division.
Okay, it's not. Their division's terrible, and nobody can get more than 8 wins. That means none of them deserve a home game in the playoffs.
Yeah.
They can get in the playoffs, because I'm a proponent of this in the NHL. I want to get rid of this stupid. You win your division, and the next 2 teams below you play each other.
So
I want 1 through 8.
So forget it, man. It's just I can't belabor the point. But yeah, I understand what you're saying. I don't totally disagree, but I'm just I guess an old timey guy with that.
Yeah, I think
if Buffalo plays, plays the NFC East, Buffalo may lose 3 games that year just from that conference.
But they'll still get in the playoffs.
But they may not, because that may be the kicker to knock them off. Those 3
We're talking
games.
about the AFC East.
I know. I'm just, just trying to, do something.
No, I mean, as you break it down, I can see both points, and both points are valid. But at the same time, I agree when you should, and even if you're the 14-2 team, you should, if you're that good, you should be able to even go on the road and knock somebody off. That's how I feel about it. If you're that good, 14-2, you pretty damn good. that means you could just about go and buy anybody's building and knock them off.
Should be able to.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's all.
sometimes you don't. I'll read this. I just while y'all was doing that. It looks like 4 times the team with losing records have won the division. The 2010 Seattle Seahawks was 79. The Seahawks became the first team to win a division with a losing record, clinching the NFC West. They notably defeated the defending Super Bowl champions New Orleans Saints 41-36 in the wild card round, a game remembered for the Marshawn Lynch's iconic Beastquake run. And then you had in 2014 the Carolina Panthers. They finished 7-8-1 in the awful, looks like still awful, NFC South. Despite a losing record, the Panthers won the NFC South. They secured a playoff victory against the Arizona Cardinals in the wild card round before failing to the Seattle Seahawks in the divisional round. And then in 2020, the Washington football team clinched the NFC East with a 7-9 record. They hosted a playoff game, but were defeated by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who went on to win the Super Bowl that year. I think that was the Tom Brady year. Was it the Tom Brady year? I think.
Yeah.
And in 2022, the Tampa Bay Bucks won the NFC South with a 8-9 record, becoming the 4th team to win a division with a losing record. They lost in the wild card round to the Dallas Cowboys. So 4 times it's happened. So let me try something out here.
That sounds kind of like a laugh, Kev.
Okay.
Somebody shooting free throws?
Ooh,
I know, right? Well, the Knicks were awful at that, boy. Dan is just. Ooh, let me go into the next. This is really going to get you. I should have read this first, but I waited though. This is from what is this from? Front Office Sports from David Rumsey. He says this: the NFL players, they're cleared for Olympic participation. NFL owners unanimously approved allowing active players to compete in flag football in the 2028 games, Olympic Games in LA. Roster restriction: each national team can include only 1 active NFL player per NFL franchise. Additionally, each team's designated international pathway player may compete for their country. The game format, the flag football will be a 5-on-5 competition with 2 20-minute halves. The field measures 50 yards long and a 25-yard wide with 2 10-yard end zones. Teams have 4 downs to score a touchdown. And here's your participating nations. The Olympic flag football competition will feature teams from 6 nations. The top 6 finishers in the men's competitions of the 2024 IFAF Flag Football World Championship. I didn't even know that they had one. Were the U.S., Austria, Switzerland, Mexico, France, and that hotbed of American football, Italy. The qualification process for flag football at the LA Games has not yet to be determined. And some of the players that have sparked some interest, you had Pat Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Micah Parsons, Jalen Hurts, among others who are interested in playing Olympic flag football in the 2028 games in LA. DA?
Yeah, this is all good until some of those players get hurt in the Olympics. It's all beautiful.
That was coming.
That's basically it. There's nothing else to it because that's owners can sign off on it today until they lose the Super Bowl from it. But like I said, this again to me is rampant with Americanism, I guess, would be because this is our sport. We don't need to put pros in it to win. You can put the 12 best college players in and win it.
Yeah, who didn't make an NFL squad.
But they're selling the NFL Olympic jersey or Olympic cleats or whatever the heck it is. And that's why you got these pros playing in this sport that they don't need to be there playing. Right? Again, these are the things that get me because you're not giving the kids the opportunity that maybe, don't get to do certain things. Man, listen, man, come on. You can put a bunch of D2 players. And I'm not espousing any D2 players.
You got 10 seconds.
But I'm guaranteeing you can put D2 players out there and win a gold medal if they're coached up. Yeah, I mean, because we got the athletes in this country that have been playing American football since they were 12, 10 years old, 8 years old. They'll be all right by then. They'll be all right.
Gotcha. Dan, your thoughts on Olympic football coming to a Olympic stadium towards you in 2028?
Next. Don't care.
I love it. I love my guys. Let me move on to the next article.
Thank you.
From CBS Sports from Shayna McCarriston, and this is sad. Passing a long time owner Jim Irsay, owner of the Indianapolis Colts since 1997, passed away peacefully in his sleep at age 65 on yesterday, May 21st. Irsay began his career with the Colts in 1982 and became the NFL's youngest general manager in 1984 at age 24. He assumed full ownership of the team in 97, following the death of his father, Robert Irsay. He led the Colts to 16 playoff appearances, 10 divisional titles, and a Super Bowl XLI victory in 2007. Oversaw the construction of Lucas Oil Stadium, which opened in 2008 and hosted a Super Bowl. Openly discussed his struggles with substance abuse, achieving sobriety in 2002. He founded the Kicking the Stigma initiative to raise awareness about mental health issues. Survived by his three daughters, that would be Carly, Irsay Gordon, Casey Foyt, and Kaylin Jackson, who have been involved in the team's operations. The Colts have not announced formal succession plans, but his daughters are expected to continue his legacy. I believe the oldest one, Carly, she's been involved in the day-to-day. She's going to be pretty much taken over as the ultimate owner of the Indianapolis Colts. D-Dub, your thoughts on Robert Irsay? And I don't know if y'all saw this. He actually put a tweet out yesterday, kind of encouraging the Indiana Pacers to go early in the morning, man. So that was kind of eerie to see that he did that and he passed away in his sleep.
Yo, sad, man. Sad. Yeah, I was totally shocked when I heard it. Heard the news. He had his troubles, his little, or some would call, I guess demons or whatever.
Right.
But other than that, I mean, he tried his best to, bring some love to the Indianapolis area. So with the Colts. So I ain't got much from him other than thoughts and prayers and condolences to the family. Seems like his daughters is going to be taking over. So yeah,
definitely. So the Colts, and like you said, like the article said, he pretty much was responsible for getting Lucas Oil Stadium built in Indianapolis. I know the DA has passed it a couple times. I have never been to it or passed it on your way working out there sometimes, man. So
him and Peyton. I think he would
the house that Peyton did.
Yeah, absolutely, man. But shout outs to him and his family, man. Prayers for his family.
Definitely. Let me move on to the next article here. And this is from On 3, Nick Schultz. And he says this, Mac Brown concluded his second tenure at UNC's head football coach at 2024 with a 44-33 record over 6 seasons. UNC hired Bill Belichick, making his first college leading head coach role with expectations of elevating the program's success. Brown noted, though, that UNC increased financial investments and adjusted academic standards to support Belichick's success. NIL funding boosts. The university NIL funding reportedly rose from $4 million to $20 million under Belichick's leadership. UNC revamped its roster, bringing in approximately 60 new transfers to strengthen the team. Despite the changes, Brown expressed pride and Belichick and optimism for the program's future success. I'll start off with the DA. Your thoughts on Mac Brown?
Man, stop dry snitching, man. All right, stop, man. Leave that where that's at, man. Well, you get more money I got with NIL. And man, listen, it is what
Listen,
it is.
when I saw this the other day, I was like, is he like telling on somebody? I was like, man, man, you just got your money, man. Yo, I mean, I think Bill has some other problems. Well, it might not be problems for him, but
I ain't got no problems. He got, pretty good. I mean, they'll be what they are. They may not be no better. They in the ACC. It's, it's still kind of is what it is. We'll see what Bill does. Coach him up, get him out there and see what happens, man. I don't think, talk about the NIL money that he's getting as opposed to what you got and all the play. Oh yeah, you changed the standards for the kids that's playing so they can play with a D average instead of playing with a C average. Dog, mind your business. Get on. You don't have to do it.
Mind your business, man.
Mind your business, please. Yes. I'm gonna go into Major League Baseball, but let me read the story real quick here. Major League Baseball during Rivalry Week, their attendance had a surge from May 16th to the 18th to the weekend. 16 million fans, marking the league's highest pre-Memorial Day weekend since 2012. MLB attendance has increased by 2% this season, averaging 27,612 fans per game, up from 1.3 game earlier in May. Their national broadcasters recorded significant viewer increases. ESPN is up 12%, Fox is up 8%, TNT Sports is up 15%, except they didn't do well against the WNBA the other night. I think that was Saturday. ESPN Sunday Night Baseball, featuring the Mets-Yankees finale, attracted 2.54 million viewers, the most watched game of the season, and the network's highest since 2018. MLB experienced double-digit percentage increases in merchandise sales, social media interactions, and MLB TV consumption during Rivalry Weekend compared to the same period last year. Rivalry Weekend featured matches between, of course, the Yankees and the Mets, the Angels and the Dodgers, the Sox and White Sox and the Cubs, and some other regional things. And then you have high-profile players like Aaron Judge, Shohei Ohtani, and Juan Soto have contributed to the increased attendance and viewership with their teams. And they hope to do this again with Rivalry Week coming up in August. So shout out to Major League Baseball. Look like they're getting some things right as far as Rivalry Week. Let me just go on to this. I saw this the other day. This was May 20th, Yahoo Sports. Jack Bayer, he says this, and Dan actually made a great point the last time I saw this. The Tampa Bay Rays withdrew from a proposed $1.3 billion stadium project in St. Petersburg due to hurricane damage and funding delays. You don't say. For the 2025 season, they have been playing in George M. Steinbrenner's Field in Tampa, with their lease at Tropicana Field expiring in 2028. The Rays' long-term location remains uncertain, raising the possibilities of relocation. Some of those cities have been Nashville, Salt Lake City, Charlotte, North Carolina, and Montreal, and have been mentioned as possible relocation sites for the franchise. MLB's Commissioner Rob Manfred has expressed a desire to keep the team in Tampa Bay area, but it is reportedly pressuring owner Stuart Steinberg to sell the team to facilitate a stadium solution. The canceled stadium was part of the largest $6.5 billion redevelopment plan for historic gas plant district, which now faces uncertainty. If I had the opportunity to pull up what Dan said last time, because, hey, the Tropicana Dome, what did they do, Dan, right before this hurricane? They didn't renew the insurance.
Please.
You remember you saying that?
Yeah, that was crazy. Like you're in a hurricane zone.
Yeah, you're in the hurricane zone and you don't renew it, and so
save 15% with Geico.
So I had another article. I'm not going to read it, but apparently there's been some real talks. Barry, what was my man that used to play for the Reds? Barry Larkin. I think he's behind the team in Orlando that's trying to get some money up to fund the stadium in Orlando, right by SeaWorld. To all my people that come down for vacation and hang out in Orlando SeaWorld, there's a big plot of land right there, and they want to put a stadium right there with a restaurant district, hotel district, all the things that people
Who's gonna play there?
Yeah, well, sir, that's what they're saying. They want to build a stadium so they can draw somebody, maybe like somebody like the Rays, to come play there. I don't know, dog. I
Field of Dreams. If you build it,
well,
they come.
the actual name of the team that they wanted to name it is called the Orlando Dreamers, by the way.
Terrible name.
The Orlando Dreamers, man. So that's what they want, man. So, you know, all the stadium, like you said, who's going to play there and who's going to pay for it too. So I know a lot of municipalities have been getting smarter and be like, nah, we're not paying for that. So it's just what it is, man, when it comes to stadium thing. Let me go to the MLB as we get to MLB Power Rankings by CBS Sports. I'll just read this real quick before we get into hockey and basketball. The Detroit Tigers, they're 1. The LA Dodgers are 2. The New York Yankees are 3. The New York Mets are number 4. The Chicago Cubs are 5. The Phillies are 6. Mariners 7. The San Diego Padres, they've slipped a little bit. They're number 8. The Minnesota Twins. Before Sunday, they had won 13 in a row, man. So they've been climbing up, but still, they still trailing the Tigers in the standings. And you got the Giants at 10, Cardinals 11, Diamondbacks at 12, Astros at 13. The Braves finally at 500. They're at number 14. The Rangers at 15. I don't know if the Yankees beat the Rangers this afternoon, but shout out to Dominguez the other night with the walk-off. Been almost 3 years since the Yankees had a walk-off homer. And the Royals are at number 16. I'm glad Mike Mills is on. Mike is a Mets fan. I think Mike is I'm going to ask him. Mike, how do you feel about the team so far? How do you feel about the pieces that they have added, especially the big piece that they paid a lot of money for? Your thoughts on the Mets?
I mean, he's still adjusting. And then we did all right till we went to the Bronx and got our head beaten. And then we went to Boston and dropped another one. So, you know, it's early. Do you think okay?
Do you think people jumping out the window on Juan Soto is fair or foul?
Lindor played like shit for 2.5 years, so give Soto some slack. Lindor just started earning his keep, so Soto got time.
No, Mike, you make a good point. Yeah, Lindor. Yeah, he for 2 years. It was like, man, what is this we got from Cleveland? Oh yeah, we call him absolutely. Yeah, court stealing. Yeah, absolutely.
He was robbing us. So Soto got time.
Yeah. Pete Alonso, can he not throw to home plate? What's going on there? He had a couple of fluffs.
I don't know why he's not the DH, but it's neither here nor there. He's really Jason Giambi with a little more power, but he should be the DH. Yeah. So
who should play first?
You got the yips.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, DA. I said, man, he looks. That looks like that's mentally that's in his head. Like, you know, you're thinking about too much. You know, you should absolutely just throw the ball and go. But hopefully he'll get out of that. He'll see a sports psychologist, and we'll be all right. So, gotcha, man. Anything else on the Mets, Mike? Before I move on, because that's all we got. Baseball is still young. We're about to face May 31st. Excuse me, Memorial Day weekend. So, got you on that.
Give it another month and let's see. I mean, we're gonna have to add an arm, but give it another month and we'll see who's tanking, who's ready to blow it up.
Okay, gotcha. Let's move on to the National Hockey League. Dan is here tonight. Dan wasn't on Monday, man, but I tried to serve justice and tell him about the Toronto Maple Leafs. As I'm looking at the big screen here, the Panthers are up 1-0 against Carolina. Carolina has lost 13 straight Eastern Conference Finals games. I find that amazingly crazy. Shout out to all those in the chat. Thank y'all for chiming in. Thank you so much. Dan, take it away, bro. How are you?
Good. Can we just have a moment of silence for the Toronto Maple Leafs? Tough year for them.
Can't believe we did that.
You know, it's one of those things where you got good players and coach isn't terrible. I don't know. It's it's got to be worse than like playing in New York, like either Yankees or the Knicks or anything like that. Just the fan pressure for them to win that they struggle every year with. And, like I said, they had a great regular season. They got past Ottawa, which, they were a wild card team. They were, the last team's in, so they should take care of business there. And then they play, the Stanley Cup champions from last year in Florida. And I don't know, man. Like, I think it was like game one after game. I think it was 3 because they were up 2-0.
2-0.
And then Florida, did what Florida does. Like the stat that they had every night on the pregame, like for TNT, was how many times Chris Tanev took a body check, and it was twice as many as anybody else playing in the playoffs, which was absolutely crazy. And then like that whole team in that series, like defenseman wise, were like in the top 8, I think, of getting hit. Which, the old adage is, you keep hitting them, you wear them down, and that's what Florida did. They made some mental mistakes, and got pressed. But like, Toronto come out 5-4 the first game, 4-3 the second game. And then they go back to Florida. Florida wins 5-4 in overtime, which that was huge for Florida. They get down 3 there.
Yeah.
Well, no. It's Toronto. And somehow they managed to get to game 7s in that scenario. But, and then the next night, Florida come out and beat them in a close game 2-0. And then they go back to Toronto, and you're thinking, okay, Toronto's going back home. They won the last 2. And I don't know if they had jet lag or they forgot what time the game started, but Toronto got absolutely bamboozled 6-1 at home. And it was crazy. Like it was like you could see, like once that they started going Florida, they just started piling it in. And I was like, okay, here we go. And then, surprisingly, they go back to Florida. Toronto ends up winning a close game 2-0, and then a good old game 7, back in Toronto, and watching that game, it was eerie to me because it was like Florida come out buzzing the first 10 minutes, and Toronto came out like we don't want not to win the game, but they didn't want to lose the game either. You know what I mean? So they kind of played. They tried to play like they didn't want to make mistakes, so they weren't super aggressive.
Right.
And after that, they, like I said, they came back, and it was all hunky dory. They went to the locker room 0-0. Like Florida had the first 7 shots in that game. Toronto had the next 7, and it was there. And they come out in the second, and I don't know what happened, what was said in between periods. But Florida come out jumping, and they put 3 on the board in the second period. And at that point, you're chasing the game if you're Toronto. You know what I mean? Like, you have limited time. You got 20 minutes to get 3 goals. And they did good. They came out, Domi got a goal. And it was, 3-1? And then it just went off the rails from there. 3 in a row by Florida. The real burner, Marchand got the empty netter. He's 5-0 against Toronto in the playoffs.
Great acquisition from
Yes.
Yes.
We'll talk about him in a little bit here in the next series. But the thing to me that I've seen, some of the press conferences and stuff like that, and I saw Matthew Tkachuk. He was on the Chicklets not too long after that game. And I kind of agree with him to a point that Toronto that's the best Toronto team I think they've had probably in 5 years. They've always had the core 4 up front, but management kind of figured it out. Like they got Tanev. They got Oliver Ekman-Larsson on defense. Coyle, or not Coyle, but what's his name? Carlo from Boston. So they shored up a lot of what their deficiencies were on the back end. And like what Matthew was saying was like, look, like I know a lot of people are going to poo-poo on them in Toronto because of the market, the pressure, and everything else that goes along with that market. And he said that's the best Toronto team we played. That wasn't the same team that we played 2 years ago. And he was like, that's a really good hockey team, and that series is a lot closer than what the score indicates. And I kind of tend to agree with him because a couple overtime goals, a couple 2-0 games, and that's usually a 1-goal game with an empty netter. And then, you had the 2 blowouts. And like the thing that just baffles me is like you come out and play such a great game in Game 6, win 2-0. But the last 2 home games you got outscored 12-2. It just like there's something about Maple Leafs Garden with them that in the playoffs that like the pressure, like they were throwing beer on the ice. They threw a Marner jersey, I think, on the ice during play.
I saw that. Yes, during play.
So,
during that, I want to say that second period of that Game 7. Yeah,
and they were booing Barter when he had the puck in the third period. I'm like, I get it. You're frustrated, that your team is getting absolutely smoked. But at the same time, it's like you're putting that in their head for the next time they get in a series and they got to go Game 7. You're going to get that, oh, shit, here we go, that kind of thing. So, the only thing I could say is, what goes good with cookies. And it's amazing. It made it all the way here to North Carolina. And I mean, it must have been serious up there because MIA. Have you seen these people?
For those that not follow hockey, who's those people in the milk box?
that would be Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner. And I only do that to point out that like absolutely disappeared. Like Matthews, I think had 3 goals the entire playoffs. And most of those were in the first round. I think he had 1 in his series. And Mitch Marner, I think he's got 6 goals in 7 years in the playoffs. Now, granted, a lot of those didn't get past the first round.
Right.
But, it's like I said, this team is just so baffling to me. And I actually feel for the fan base because that would be so hard and so frustrating to root for a team that it seems to always end up this way. And I don't know what they can do to fix it. They let go Brendan Shanahan, or they're not going to renew his contract as the team president, but they're going to keep Trevally as the GM. And I don't know how that's going to work if you got to hire a new team president. Usually that goes down the chain. He hires the GM, then the GM and him hire the coach. So I don't know how all that's going to work unless he gets like / title GM president, whatever. But like, they just completely were. It seemed like I said, with that Florida hitting everything, you could see some of Toronto players like shying away from making a play and taking a hit, as opposed to just chucking the puck up the boards or letting the other guy get it first.
So they're not playing with, how can I say, they're playing to lose.
Well, they're not playing to lose. They're just not playing to win. Like they were passive. They weren't aggressive. Like they like literally both of the 6-1 games would have been completely different. Like I know, like I think Nylander had a couple breakaways, 1 or 2 in each game, and like right now, Conn Smythe, depending on if they get there, one of the leading, people in that category. I would put Bobrovsky because he's played absolutely phenomenal in that series and still playing phenomenal. But that's, like I said, you can't put your finger on it. I mean, is the pressure that much that they can't get it done in the home court, home ice? And the other thing I'll say too is, I believe it was game 2 or 3 that Stolarz took a slap shot and it hit him square in the mask.
Yeah.
And his mask came off. And you could see him kind of give that, get the cobwebs out. And then a little bit later, he got bumped by Sam Bennett, I believe. And I know a lot of people online like, oh, that's a cheap shot. He elbowed him in the head. He barely touched him. Like, for what Bennett could have done, no. Like,
Right.
that didn't make him go stand by the bench and throw up into a garbage can during the TV timeout. He was already concussed at that point from the shot. And, Stolarz was playing great. And then that happens. And then, I don't know, change the momentum because the next game, like I said, Florida come out and end up winning that game. But, we'll see. We'll see what Toronto does. You got Tavares, I believe, is a free agent. Marner's a free agent. You got to hire a team president. What are you going to do?
Do you gut it?
Thank you. That's what I was about to. What else can?
Austin Matthews is supposed to be that guy, right? And he's on the milk crate. He's on the milk box.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You score 47 or whatever goals in the regular season and get 3 in the playoffs.
Does he need somebody? Does he need? I hate to say, does he need another dog with him to who's out there in the free agent? How old is Matthews? Austin Matthews.
He's been in the league, I think, like 7 years.
7 years. Okay, so he's a vet.
7 years. But here's the thing. I don't know if he was injured during the playoffs. It's quite possible he's beat up. Completely understand it because they'll never tell you until it's all over or even a week after it's over. So who knows what was going on.
Right.
But, he gave it his best. He tried, whatever. But, how do you bring Marner back? Like, if you look at it, like at the playoffs and stuff, like if you look like Florida, they had an okay regular season and they weren't great. They didn't win the division. They were like 3rd, I think. But how are they built? They're not built for the regular season. They're built for the 4 series that come at the end of the season. So, and Toronto took a page from that and tried to bulk up a little bit. Like, maybe you need a couple more gritty guys or bigger guys playing forward, that will take care of some of that mess. Who knows? It'll be an interesting offseason for them. I think Marner moves on. Do they resign Tavares? We'll see. Or does he move on also? So they're going to have a busy offseason. So, the GM and whoever they hire as president, they're going to have their hands full. But I don't think that 4 that they have, like Nylander, he played way better this year in the playoffs. More confident, more assertive, aggressive. And I thought he, like, out of all of them, I thought he had the best playoffs. So, I think he's still under contract. He's still got Matthews under contract. Probably Riley under contract too. It's, like I said, we'll see where it goes from there. But feel bad for the fans of Toronto because it's going to be next year. Next year's the year.
So I know sometimes franchises, fans, and Toronto's part of the original 6. And this, I don't even call it a curse. They just haven't been able to make headway and win. And yes, they treat I want to say like guys, man, but in Toronto, hockey, Canada, it's a huge big deal.
It's a pressure cooker.
Yeah. So I guess you just need the right coach, right everything, and I don't know. I don't know if Matthews is that guy. Does he need a dog for them? So
I just think you need help, but you need help that will be there in the playoffs. You know what I mean? You need someone, like a Rantanen, that becomes a dog when the playoffs get there. Like they step it up to a different gear, you need a player that's physical, that will willing to take and give out hits and block shots, and have skill, be able to pass the puck, because there's not a lot of ice in the playoffs, and when you get in like the opportunities that they had in several of those games, 2-on-1s, breakaways, and stuff like that, you have to convert. Like, you can't leave that on the table because goals are hard to come by.
Like the Florida Panthers just scored again.
Yeah, bro.
2-0. Looks like they don't. Carolina about to lose their 14th
Yeah, man.
game in a row. Go ahead, Dan. I'm sorry.
My man would pack his car up and come on back to Charlotte, man. Let me send him a text now. Go ahead, Go ahead, Dan.
But then, you had Dallas beating Winnipeg in Game 7 in overtime.
Yes.
Which that was a really good series. Dallas, like I said, I said whoever wins the Colorado Dallas series is going to the Cup. So far, so good. We'll see how that goes. And then they played Game 1 the other night against Edmonton. And the Edmonton, man, they came out buzzing. They were all over them.
3-1, right?
They were up 3-1 and gave up 5 straight goals. But Dallas could do that. That's like they got Miro Heiskanen back, the defenseman. He played I think he played a little bit in the last game against Winnipeg.
Right.
But, he's getting his feet wet. He's getting more playing time. And because they were going 11 forward, 7D because he came back. And then this last game, they went 12-6. So they're feeling pretty confident that he's in good shape, ready for playoff hockey. So we'll see, with Dallas and Edmonton, you got Ottinger on one side. Stuart Skinner started that game for Edmonton. Is it going to be the same story we talked about last year with, Edmonton's goaltending?
Right.
Are they going to be able to score enough to win? Because they're going to give up goals. But, like, Edmonton's just scary good. Like, the acquisitions that they made, picking up Frederick, trying to think, and then who's the other cat that they got? But yeah, it's like it's been like a little bit different with them because now they're a little bit bigger, a little bit more physical. They've gotten way more secondary scoring from like third and fourth line guys this playoffs, which is huge. So McDavid and Draisaitl, they don't have to be on the ice all the time and expected to score every goal. Corey Perry, the Worm, he's like 50 and he's still scoring goals in the playoffs. Which amazes me that he's still around and still doing so well. And it's a testament to him and his training that he's able to keep up with these young cats. But like the Dallas, Edmonton series, it's going to be a good one. They got two in Dallas. I think tomorrow night is a second game with Dallas being up 1-0. But I think that series is going to be kind of like the Winnipeg series. That's going to be a long one. They're probably going to go 6 or 7. The Eastern Conference, I'm not feeling so confident about. Moving on to like Carolina and Florida. I don't know. I think the light bulb went off for Florida, and they've kind of figured out
at the right time.
Well, I mean, they know what it's going to take, and I'm sure that they weren't going 100% there at the end of the season, knowing that they're in, and not a whole lot of chance, of change between whether they get home ice or not in that first round. But I think like now it's starting to click. Now that Marchand's got some more time with them, he's playing third line for them, and that third line's been killing teams. So like Edmonton, they've got a lot of third and fourth line scoring out of their guys too, and they're continuing the same thing here with Carolina. It's dump and just kill the guy behind the net when he touches it. Always hitting people, the defenseman, the whole 9 yards.
That's what I like. Not to cut you off, but I did, of course. That's what it looked like to me in their last series against Toronto. They pretty much every time the Maple Leafs were in the corner or try to get the puck out, man. They was just checking and forechecking they never got tired, you know what I'm saying? They finished every check.
Yep.
From,
If you've touched the puck, you're getting hit.
Yep. And that can absolutely wear on you during the season. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Go ahead, Dan.
But no, like watching the first game, it reminded me of the Toronto series so much. You know, Florida won the first game 5-2. And if you just look at the score sheet, you're like, wow, man, they really took it to Carolina. Well, yes and no. Carolina had a ton of opportunities also. But again, Bobrovsky stood on his head and he saved his team when they messed up, gave up a 2-on-1 or a breakaway.
Mm-hmm.
Like all had a breakaway the other night and boom, shut them down. And Carolina's, they're relentless too on their forecheck. And, a lot of those hits that they're taking is going to slow that forecheck down the longer this series goes.
Right.
And, for Carolina, when Freddie's healthy, he's one of the top goalies in the league. But Florida's a different animal. Like, they play old school hockey. Dump, forecheck, put a plaster defense against the glass every opportunity. So by the time, game 3-4 rolls around, a lot of people are in the ice tub. Got the ibuprofen because you got a lot of bumps and bruises. But this game tonight is a must-win for Carolina. Like, if they go down 2-0 and have to go back to Florida, like, I'm not saying they can't win there, but you don't want to have the possibility that you go there and you don't come back.
And don't look good now, Dan. Don't look good now.
I know, but like that's a big thing is, you got to figure out how to get some pucks past Bob and maybe steal a page from their book. If you got to bump into them, cause some chaos. Because the one thing I've noticed is, like, I think Carolina's kind of in shock of how much they're getting hit. Because game one, they're, always after every whistle, especially in front of the goal, Florida's, put gloves in faces, a little cross check to the lower back, nothing, bad. Just hey, I'm here kind of poke. But that's like, I don't think they were anticipating. Well, they probably knew it was coming, but I don't think they realized the relentlessness of Florida with it. Because I'll say this, probably one of the most Bush League plays I've seen in a long time was Gostisbehere the other night, and Marchand. So Marchand took a run at Gostisbehere. So Gostisbehere was in his end by the face-off dot by the glass. Marchand took a beeline straight for him. He sidestepped it. Marchand got all glass, but he was kind of pissed that he took a run at him. So he brought the puck over his blue line later on, probably like 5-6 feet outside the blue line. Marchand standing in front of him, 120 feet from the net, shoots the puck at him like waist high or elbow high, somewhere in that area.
It's not good.
And you could just see Marchand looked at him like, did you just shoot the freaking puck at me? And his wires crossed, and he went right at him, and they looked like a bunch of gladiators in Roman times with the sticks up, crossed, smacking each other, and then, gloves come off. Marchand's, trying to throw punches. It was a rather funny fight because it wasn't really a fight. It was more of them trying to fight each other and missing every punch and falling over. But at the end of it, Marchand got him down on the ice and kind of pressed his face in the ice, kind of let him know he wasn't appreciative of that, which I believe that's what got him the 10-minute misconduct. But that being said, 3-0. That, like, you can't let them get to you like that, because another play later in the game, Gostisbehere, the Florida guy had the puck right behind the net. Gostisbehere was going at him. Listerinen was behind Gostisbehere, probably like 6 feet out in the slot. And you could just see that his mind was like, I'm going to go run this guy in the glass, because his stick was waist high and he started skating at him. And all the guy did from behind the net was this backhand pass right between his legs, right to Listerinen, top shelf. And in actuality, what he should have been doing, even if he was going to hit him, have a stick on the ice in front of him, so that like kind of like a triangle. You got your legs and you got the stick down in the between your legs out in front of you, so it gives the puck more things to hit.
Right.
But he was mad, and he was trying to put the guy in the glass, and boom, there it was, right between his legs, right in the back of the net. Thank you. How do you do? Yeah, we're out of here. It's 5-1. But like this series, like the Dallas Edmonton series, I think is going to go a little ways. But this one, like it's already 3-0 in the first. Like Carolina got to get off the ice here with it being a 3-0 game or a 3-1 game.
Hey, damn, man! I just told my man Simmons, hey, start packing your shit up, man. Get the fuck out of there, bro. It's 3-0 already, bro. He's like, yeah, I think I'm about to start,
making your way
to the parking lot, man. Yeah,
I-40, buddy.
yeah. We'll be humming no time.
Yeah. Dang.
You miss all that traffic getting out of the venue.
Yeah, listen, man, and the Panthers, man. I mean, this team, the defending champions.
I gotta give me a hat this weekend, man.
They are handling business and and standing on it as well. So
This is 2 years in a row where we got teams either not thinking or not knowing that they're going to hit them, and I'm not sure why that is.
Correct, yeah. You said last year was the same thing, the same thing last year.
Well, I think they know what's coming. They don't have anything to combat that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like if you got real fast guys and skill guys, a lot of times you can skate out of that or pass your way out of that, where you're not taking the big hits along the boards. But
so
you know what's coming,
right? And then that's
everybody
what I'm saying. So thinking from what happened last year, did they well, obviously not, but when did you think they would, get the team sort of ready for this, what they're about to face? You understand what I'm saying? It's just, they should have tooled up. They know that, this is the champions. You're going to meet them or possibly meet them. And, you should have, some tools in your toolbox to, combat that.
I don't know, man. Cause like, you
can't. Or is it that hard to just?
Well, no, you just can't build your team to play one team, and then not end up facing them, or take away from what your team does really well, just to line up with them. You know what I mean? Yeah,
I got it, because I know it's different, because you see it in basketball where you see it in you in football. Sometimes you see that, hey, you're gonna be facing this team, and this team does this and this, and they're you kind of try to get key pieces. But yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I mean, like with basketball and even football, you got to wait for a whistle to make a change, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this isn't like that. You could go 15 minutes of a period, and guys are just jumping the boards,
jumping over the
line after line after line after line.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of hard to, get the matchups you want. Like if you get a game that has a lot of stoppage,
right?
You can get your good guys out there off an icing, or face off in your own end. You get a good chance to line up. If you're the home team, you get last change. So whatever so Florida in this game, whoever they throw over the boards, Carolina has the opportunity to go, all right, they put out Barkov and these guys. That's their top line. So we're going to put our best checkers against them to limit the chances that they may score a goal. And then, when they go to Florida can do the same thing. They see what Carolina puts out, then they can match up accordingly. But when there's no whistles, it's line after line after line, and there is no real matching, and especially second period hockey where it's a long change, you get the puck, trapped in the other team's end, and you can skate off and change your guy and get fresh legs out there, and they're stuck on the ice. And that usually ends up in either a goal or a penalty by the team that's been stuck on the ice for that long.
Dan, I know we're kind of watching this in real time. What does Rob Brindamore, what does he say to his team going into the second period?
Get some goals on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, look, yeah.
And they did everything right on his last goal that was scored. I mean,
Play better.
Like I need to see some heart. Like you got to give it 110% because.
Does he go in there yelling? Does he act like when he was a Flyer? That's what I mean.
You probably give them a little bit of both. If they're doing things that are bad, constantly turn the puck over in the neutral zone, giving them odd man breaks, then you scream at them like, what the F we doing here? Like why are we trying to make that pass? Dump the puck in, go get it. And then also give them a pat on the back. Hey, really like what we did there 5-on-5. Once we got the puck and dumped in, we cycled it. We forechecked. We made him turn the puck over to us. We got a couple good chances. We just got to keep doing it and get all the pucks to the net. It's 40 minutes left in this game. There's time.
Hey, Dan. Last question for me, man. Listen, they lose. If the Hurricanes lose this game tonight, what would it look like?
Oh, it's over. I mean. They're going back to Florida.
Thank you. That's all. No further questions.
I just don't see. I don't see anything from them. Like something would drastically have to change. Like if this ends up like a 4-3 game and Carolina comes roaring back, and they end up giving up a goal, on a power play or something like that. Where Florida has the man advantage. That's different. Right. But if this score keeps going up, and there's not much score from Florida or Carolina, like they're at home. They should have the jump. They should, you know what I mean? They should be, We're
going to just pack them up.
Like the only thing that's going to change, and it kind of like for Toronto when they went to Florida, like you're on the road. There isn't the same kind of pressure while you're there. Maybe that's what brings the guys together, at the hotel or team dinner or whatever, they can kind of work out whatever issues that they may be having, and hash it out and look, here's what we got to do. Everybody's got to buy in, and let's do it. But like right now, like I said, it's a little rough. Like Carolina's got a power play here at the last end of the period here. It'd be great for them if they could get a goal.
Sorry, that's a tape gun. The Dubs is packing up Carolina already.
Yeah, they about to go.
But yeah, it's like Carolina's got to do something, in between these two periods, and like just forget about winning or losing the game, but just go out and try to play the best hockey they can.
One goal at a time,
and get that momentum built and stuff start growing in for them. And, they could be right back in this game at the end of the second. So, we've seen crazier things about how many goals are being scored in one period.
Yeah,
it's true that.
What else you got for us for hockey, Dan, before we go on to the hardwood here?
Well, they're playing some World Cup hockey over in Europe right now. And like there's some NHL players playing in it. And I haven't really been following it that closely because I've been watching the Stanley Cup. But apparently today, Canada played Denmark, and Crosby, Fleury, like a bunch of the guys from the earlier rounds that were out of the playoffs were on this team, and some of the young kids like Celebrini from San Jose and stuff. But Canada was doing well in the tournament. Well, they got beat by Denmark 2-1. Denmark scored a late goal that bounced them out of the semifinals.
Denmark's not a hockey.
I think they had one pro.
Who? Ulf Samuelsson? Nah, he's Sweden. Sorry.
I think it might have been Olofsson. Hold on. Let's see. Denmark.
Oh, Brendan Moore is pissed off as he leaves the bench.
He should be.
He's the first one out of there.
That's two games, or a game in a period that they've been kind of just not in it.
Yeah. So,
but they had that, and then USA. It looks like was it Finland they beat. They was it 5-2. And then Sweden beat the Czech Republic 5-2. And Sweden beat Austria, I think it is, 6-0. So they're down to like the final four in that. And that's Saturday at 8:20 a.m. is the first semi. And about lunchtime is the second semi.
Gotcha. Okay. Anything else with hockey, Dan?
Nope. I'm just waiting to see these next couple rounds of the playoffs. And we'll see what Carolina can do the rest of the night, and they're going forward. So we might only have 2 left by the time I'm back on.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, he's Dan K, the hockey dude. Can't play along.
Yeah, you really gonna have to mix that shit in, Kev, because that shit comes in like
It's a goal horn. If you would go to the
yeah. I know what it is. Exactly what it is. Thank you.
It's a sensory for DA. He doesn't like it, yo. It's too much for him, man. It's too
like
much.
like a dog whistle.
That's too much.
All right, we'll have to do so. I'm gonna have to mix that down a little bit. All right, cool. Got you, brother. Thank you so much. Let's move on to the hardwood. Let's go ahead and tackle the elephant in the room. Before I do that, it's 12-10. Oklahoma, they're up against the Minnesota Timberwolves. And that's in the Western Conference Finals.
Oh, I got my main man, Mike Millie, in it. Maybe he could talk me off the ledge, bro.
Let me just set it up for Millie. I'll let him go first, man. So the Knicks, game 1 of the Eastern Conference Final. They lost last night, 138-135 in overtime after leading by 14 points with under 3 minutes remaining. This marks the first time in the play-by-play area since 1997 that a team lost a playoff game when leading by such a margin so late in the game. Some of the players, they talked this. Josh Hart admitted the team started playing not to lose, citing a drop of intensity and a stagnant offensive sets during the final minutes. Jalen Brunson emphasized the need to stay level-headed. Obviously, I thought we were going to finish the game, but tomorrow we had to watch film, get better, and make sure we be ready for game 2. That's what Jalen Brunson says. Tom Thibodeau, he says this. He pointed to the missed free throw opportunities, costly turnovers, and defensive lapses as critical factors in the loss, highlighting the team's failure to maintain awareness and execute in the closing moments. Some stats to throw out at you. Prior to the game, the NBA teams were 994-0 in the postseason when leading by 14 points or more with under 3 minutes left, making this loss a significant statistical outlier. Despite the setback, the Knicks remain focused on regrouping in game 2, and coaches are expressing optimism. And this is from Peter Bodie from the New York Post. So there was a whole lot of things. You saw the Halliburton choking sign, even though that, that was only for a tie. And, if you go back to 94, Reggie Miller did the same thing. They didn't win the series, man. But that's neither here or there. I knew when the Knicks went into overtime, they didn't have enough to win that game. No gas. Mike Mills' thoughts on your thoughts on that historic, that crazy thing last night. Go ahead, man.
The Knicks ought to be ashamed of themselves. OG and Cat ought to be ashamed of themselves. Jalen Brunson ought to be ashamed of himself. Like, just terrible. Just terrible at the end. You up 14 with 2 minutes. You let the same guy hit you 5 times in the mouth.
Neesmith
6.
He was doing anything. Some of them shits, he didn't even look like he stopped to shoot him. He just put him in the air and he just went in.
Correct.
So you did all that against Boston to do what? You come out and give up a 14-point lead. And the crazy part was, as soon as I got home and turned on the game, 4 minutes left. I'm like, oh, the Knicks got this. And it just fell apart. I watched it fall apart piece by piece. They got to do something more offense. If they doubling Brunson and bumping him, somebody else has to come get the ball, and they have to figure something else out. Cat had a wide open shot in regulation and missed it. Cat had a wide open one in overtime and missed it. And both of those could have sealed the game. You cannot play sloppy like that. You have to play better defense. Shoot, Josh Hart almost lost the ball on the inbound. Josh Hart slipping and sliding.
So Mike, stop right there. Hold your thought right there. I said to DA Pride, I talked to him earlier. I said the Knicks have a problem with inbounding the ball. And it was not one or two times. It was quite a few times that they had a problem inbounding the ball. What is going on with that? DA already told me. He said, man, they don't practice this. They don't look like it.
They don't. Situational readiness, man. The dog, listen, I'm not going to belabor the point. I don't like Thibodeau. He'll be there another few years because he got to this round. But what I'm saying to you is this. If he was such a great coach, such a great defensive mind, he should have drew up a goddamn plan to stop a man from off the bench from shooting 6 3-pointers in a quarter. The only one of you give you the game. Stopping one of them, you win. Stopping one of them, you win.
Yeah.
I can understand. I'm not saying I understand anyone missing a shot because they're pros, right? But the reality is because they rely so much on Jalen Brunson to make, you are the clutch dude and you're always going to take the shot at the end. No one else really got the stones to do it with any real confidence. So with that being said, that hurts them. You would want one of your dudes off the bench to be able to do it, to feel confident enough to do it. But the Knicks don't have that. So with that being said, I don't think it's the end of the world. Darryl, you ain't need to jump off a bridge. I'll let Mike finish giving you a therapy so you all right. Kill yourself and nobody else. But I think they'll be all right the next game. But if they don't, then yeah, you can wrap them up.
Mike, real quick, talk about we could talk about the Knicks and how they just epic collapse. Talk about Tyrese Halliburton for me, man. What do you see from this kid, man?
He got vision. I'm not gonna lie. He sees some things out there. Do I like his demeanor all the time? No. Mm-hmm. But the man can hoop. And he might be one of the last few pure point guards we got left. And clearly he's not afraid to take a big shot because he keeps taking them all playoffs. Mm-hmm. Like that shot he put up, it looked terrible. I don't know how that one went in. But then he got the Tim Thomas bounce and it rolled in. And I'm like,
I mean, that bounce was so high. It went as high as that score as the shot clock on the hoop on the backboard. That's how high, and it came right back down. Like it was, I was like, I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. But shout outs to Tyrese Halliburton, and also, what's his name? Aaron Curry. He should be Aaron Curry. That's how.
Aaron Neesmith.
Aaron Neesmith Curry. I mean, this was ridiculous, man. Absolutely ridiculous, man. But these guys, I think, give the Pacers credit for keeping their head in the game. And I don't know if anybody even talked about this. The defensive pressure that they was putting on the Knicks from the backcourt all the way up to the front court. I mean, they kept on pressuring them. They kept on, being in their face, and the Knicks turning over the ball several times. I mean, it was ridiculous down the stretch, and the Knicks should be. I expect the Knicks to come out game 2 and to show out, and because this was embarrassing. They should feel embarrassed, and they should come back out in game 2 and do some work.
And the Pacers play no defense. The Knicks got baited into a track meet. Knowing they only play six people. Y'all play 6 people. You can't be in a track meet. You play 6 people.
No,
Mike. Good point, Mike. I said that while they played 14 and they didn't play 14. I think they played 10 or 12.
They doing the hockey subs. They whole line. Come on out. Next one's in. Let's go. And they get the run.
Was it Tennessee that did that in the women's college? Like when they subbed like all 5.
I don't know why.
Line change.
But the Knicks was keeping up with them at that point to the, what was that? The fourth quarter.
Yeah,
They took their foot off the gas.
They was keeping up, and then after that, and then once it went into overtime, they was gassed. They had nothing.
I knew it. I was like, they ain't gonna win this.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I think I turned. That's when I turned it off once.
Yeah, you said
I seen a couple baskets. I was like, I'm out.
Yeah,
I'm out.
Go ahead, Mike. Anything else on this game? What do you think the Knicks do when they come out on tomorrow night?
You play the same defense you played against the Celtics. Mikal Bridges, where's the stop at the end? You got 2 clutch stops back to back. They need that. OG, play the offense and the defense you was playing against the Celtics. Don't try to do too much. Pick your spots like you've been doing. I hate when he dribble. Oh my God, I hate when he dribbles. Oh my God. Just pick your spots. But I think the Knicks come out there and do what they're supposed to do. They rebound better than them. They way more physical than them. All you got to do is impose your will because the Pacers don't want to be in a rock fight. They want to run. And the Knicks can slow it down just as good as any team in the league.
I agree.
Yeah, the angry one, he's watching. He's in the comments. Yeah, I agree with you too. Yeah. I mean, it's a lot. It's just really demoralizing. It really was. From such a really good night. Like I said, they played good for 46 and a half minutes, and in the last 2.5 minutes, they, like you said, they let their foot off the gas, and voila. And when the game went into overtime, I said, "There's no way they're going to win this game." I mean, in overtime, I said, "It looks like we'll just have to wait till Friday, and Friday they just need to just finish."
Yo, here's the thing, and I was thinking about this all day. You know, you say, you know, how you wouldn't want to lose. You know, you lose by a buzzer beater. You know, you could stomach that a little bit if you get blown out. But to be leading a game, I think this is the third feeling I have never to lead a game with 2 minutes and 37 seconds, 45 seconds left in a quarter. You should win this game, and then to lose it, that's at home. That's man, I'm telling you that is demoralizing is probably the best word. It's awful.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing about it, right? It's a series.
It is a series, so you know
you get to live another day. Unlike football, if you don't come back, man, you're done.
Yeah, one and done. No, you still got 6 more games to go. So
yeah, I'm just looking up. I just Googled some of the all-time comebacks. You had the Bills and the Houston Oilers. Oilers were up 35-3. That was in 1993.
I remember
that. Yeah, that was,
y'all know the rest.
There's a lot of Cowboys ones on there.
Yeah. 2017. I don't know what's going on with the Atlanta Falcons, but they was facing Brady and them boys, and they was up 28-3 in the third quarter. And y'all know what happened. Patriots rallied. They won the game 34-28.
And what game was that?
Super Bowl.
Okay.
Yeah, Atlanta should be ashamed of themselves on that one too.
They ought to be ashamed. All they had to do was run the ball.
That's all they had to do, man.
That's all they had to do.
That's unbelievable. But
let me just read this a little bit.
There's more?
Yeah, there's more. The Yankees were up in the American League Championship Series 2004. I remember this series, man. The Yankees, we was dancing in the streets. I was like, all right, we going back to another. We got about to get another crown. And then we lost game 1. We lost that game. The game 2. The game 5 in Boston. I said, okay, all right, let's just go ahead and just wrap this up here in Boston tonight and get out of here. And then when we lost the game 3, I knew. I said, man, we're not gonna win tonight. Coming back here, we're gonna lose. So the Red Sox, they completed they won that series 4-3. Then you had the 1978. The Red Sox had a 14-game lead in July. And they lost the league down the stretch to the Yankees, and in a 1-game playoff, and with the infamous Bucky Dent's deep over the Green Monster. And then and the NBA, they had here the 2016 finals. The Warriors, after recording a 73-win regular season, led the finals 3-1, but lost the next 3 to LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers to secure their first championship. So For all my golf heads, y'all probably Van Del Velde. He needed only a double bogey on the following hole to win, but triple bogey leading to a playoff. He ultimately lost. That was the British Open. Dan, it says here for you probably got this. The 2013 Eastern Conference Finals, quarterfinals, Toronto Maple Leafs versus the Boston Bruins.
Boston, yep.
The Maple Leafs led game 7 by 3 goals in the third period, but the Bruins rallied to tie and eventually winning overtime. So we had enough Toronto Maple Leaf content tonight to last us to it. What do we do? What does the Knicks do for game 2 tomorrow, D-Dubs, before we wrap up and we get out of here? Well, before we get out of here, I just want Dan to touch on the WNBA real quick after this.
Yeah, and I got something else. The Knicks come out, do what they was doing, and they got to execute. That's about it. I mean, I think they was fine, but they got to play from beginning to end. You know, don't let up, and they win this game. Play the same exact way, beginning to end, and
I don't want to hear
let up.
Foul calls or non-foul.
Yeah, I don't. None of all that stuff doesn't even matter. I don't want to hear none of that, OG.
I don't want to hear.
If you make your free throws, you do what you're supposed to do, you win this game. This game should be in one. End of story. I have nothing else to talk about on that one, on that front. And yeah, that's about it. I was going to throw you an alley for the college football if you didn't know about college football and their new playoff system. 12 teams college football playoffs will move to a straight seeding model this fall, rewarding the selection committee's top 4 teams with the top 4 seed in a first round bye. The CFP announced Thursday.
So, don't say.
Yeah.
I missed that one. We'll probably have to let.
You'll probably have to.
Next week.
Spin the block next week.
We'll spin the block on that one. Dan, he's a hockey dude, and he's also our WNBA guy as well as Ryan. But Ryan's not with us tonight. Dan, what we got on the WNBA on their first week? As everyone said, the Liberty are up by 21. Who they playing tonight? Who they shooting out?
Liberty.
No, I'm saying who the Liberty playing. Who they playing?
Who do you think? Sky.
Oh, the Sky. Oh,
they getting smoked.
Hey,
I just pulled. I just pulled up.
Stealing all the rebounds again.
Hey,
rebounds, stealing rebounds.
How many points does Mebounds have?
Mebounds got 8 rebounds and no points.
Mike, don't you talk about Mebounds? Don't you talk about her, please.
I'm keeping it basketball. That's where that man messed up. Keep it basketball.
Keep it basketball. That's what happened. He didn't keep it basketball. But go ahead, Mike.
Keep it basketball.
You know what I'm saying?
We just stay on the court, ice, football field, baseball diamond, you name it.
This is why this show, The Sports Chasers, was created, because we were sick of you guys. Keep it up. Y'all keep on talking about all this other stuff that wasn't.
I don't care how you feel about the person off the court, on the court. Keep it basketball.
Well, we talking the game. That's it.
So,
shout outs to old boy RG me. I don't care about it. I don't care for the cat, but he kept it. He's keeping it back. He's keeping it professional about basketball. But nonetheless, the Liberty is smoking the Sky right now. So, and Indiana's playing Atlanta tonight. So
yeah, I think it's 63-62.
Yeah, it's close.
Indy. And
fourth quarter.
D-Dub, you're not going to like this.
Yeah,
because I think he stole my draft pick.
Ooh, which one? Your girl.
She got 8 points.
Damn. Yeah.
4 for 10, 0 for 4 from 3.
Hey,
she chucked an air ball from 3.
Yeah, she's a shooter. She's 4 for 10. Yeah.
If you didn't
they've
know,
been physical with her the last 2 games.
If you didn't know, we have a Atlanta absolutely played a really good game the other night. If you didn't know, we have a WNBA fantasy basketball pool, which is the first time I ever participated in one. This was Ryan. He spearheaded this one. Ryan's not with us tonight, man. So shout out to Ryan. We're just trying to, and I think this gives us the opportunity for those that are not dialed in like Ryan and Dan and Mike, to get to know who's who when it comes to that. And shout out to Ryan and Dan. They did a preview. I helped along with them about a week ago, man. If you missed it, go check it out. Thanks for all those have they been watching that episode. Go ahead, D-Dubs.
And Dan, what is going? I thought they was putting a team together for the Indiana Fever. DeWanda Bonner, she
Yeah.
only got 1 point.
She's struggling, but
Struggling.
she's struggling.
Natasha Howard. She got 21 tonight. Aaliyah Boston 2 points.
But you got to understand, they got so many weapons that on a given night, like the other night, Boston had like 24, Mitchell had 24, Caitlin had 27.
I like Aaliyah Boston games growing on me.
I do too, Mike.
She's getting much better, more confident. Got more moves in the post.
Shooting that little mid-range jumper sometimes.
Yep. She's a smart player too. She like in the pick and roll. She knows when to find the back door. And that's why I said that. Like that team is so stacked that it's ridiculous. It's hard for any of them to really stand out in the game because you got probably 5 shooters on the floor at any given time that are good from 3 and from can get to the cup. So it's like if you look through this, like Bonner's got 1 point. Like she only took 2 shots in 19 minutes, so she really hasn't got a lot of shots. Boston's only had 6 shots. Caitlin, she's 4 for 10. Like that might not be her shooting night, but she
Does
got
this
5
have
assists.
anything to do with Sophie Cunningham?
What do you mean with Sophie Cunningham?
I mean, just the swirling reports on Sophie Cunningham. Is the team disturbed or anything, or is this just a? Okay.
That's the outside noise. They ain't listening.
This outside noise. Okay.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, Sophie Cunningham. Yeah.
But like she's got 8 points tonight. Lexi's got 7, and I thought like when they had the 2 of them on the court, and the lineup they had that's when they kind of like they took off for a bit, where they got on a little bit of a run because I think they were down a little bit, but. All in all, so far, the season, like you look at the weekend numbers from,
the weekend was popping. They
like
killed it. They killed
2.3 million or something like that.
They killed it this weekend.
Fever Sky game.
Yeah.
This
is the 3rd game, so I'm
it's
not jumping out
early.
the window. It's stupid early. But the games are good. The games have been good, and Indiana's find themselves again. I mean, this is a home at home with playing Atlanta.
Yeah.
So.
Atlanta beat them the other night in Indy.
Right, by 1. And this time around, it's a tight game again.
Well, Atlanta's figured it out.
Yes,
like,
absolutely.
Get a lot of whistles, slow the flow, and make them play half court. And they're more of a run and gun team. So when there's constant whistles, out of bounds, foul shots, and everything else, that's when it slows it down. And you could just see just by just watching this that the chemistry's off. They're not there yet. It's going to take them a week or 2, like 5-10 games before they really figure it out. Like, what they like to do, where they like to pass, where they want to get the ball and all that kind of stuff. So, and a lot of these teams are the same way because a lot of these teams are completely different this year. But like Atlanta, I like what they did. I mean, Howard's got 16, Jones has got 14, Powell's got 11.
Shout out to Powell. I like Powell.
Yeah, Brittany Griner's got 5, and Gray's got 6. So, but they're playing good.
Right.
Gotcha. Anything else on the WNBA, Dan, before we get on out of here?
No, that's about it. Like I think tomorrow night you got Connecticut and Minnesota, and then shout out to Golden State Valkyries. They won their first game the other night.
Yes, they did. Yes,
they're going to play the Sparks in LA on Friday.
On board. Okay.
Shout out to
Monica Burton went crazy, 22 points. Yeah, that was.
Yeah. Someone I think broke my girl's nose. Hayes. Because she had to leave that game getting hit in the face. So hopefully she'll be all right. I don't have to use my IR.
That's crazy. A lot of things going on here, man. Dan, is that all you got for the WNBA?
Yeah, for now. Like I said, it's real early. Hey, Chicago's making a little bit of run here. It's 53-40 now.
Okay. Chicago's making a little bit of run. Hey, look out for us. We're going to be doing some quarterly reports on the WNBA, probably around when everybody's played around 11 games. We'll circle back around and do like a, Dan, what did we say? A little, not a rehash of the, at the quarter.
It's like a status report.
The quarter amount.
How they're faring, in each quarter of the season.
Yeah. OKC is up 31-29 on Minnesota in the second quarter. Mills, any thoughts on this whole thing about SGA and him getting these fouls or how he gets the fouls? Thoughts?
Man, I got two plays I really want to call out. This man crosses Jaden McDaniels. He pushes off.
Yep.
Jaden McDaniels is falling backwards, fighting for his life. Nowhere near this man. SGA shoots the mid and they call a foul. I couldn't believe that one. And then the one where they reviewed it, he slipped and fell, and they gave them the ball back. It's like, man, I know they robbed him of the MVP last year because he deserved it last year. But enough is enough already. He's got it this year. Thank you. We got to call it fair, man. Like, some of this stuff they're calling is insane. Like, there's no... Even like if it was a closeout, not even a closeout, you're pushing off and getting away, and they still calling them. It's insane. And Brunson not innocent neither because he do some stuff too. But SGA man, boy,
I seen the video today. They said they seen Brunson use the kid's hand, his own hands, to knock him in the face.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy too.
That was wild, but hey man, Ryan said it's an art. So
it's an art, and that's gamesmanship, and you better step your game up.
Yeah,
like man, I love James Harden, but James Harden used to do some stuff, boy. He was the first one. Like, well, not Paul Pierce too. Like that corner three.
I
Paul Pierce, Reggie Miller. Oh, Reggie used to do
with
some stuff
the leg kick out.
They leg kick out. I mean, and the head thing, this thing right here, where they just as soon as you touch them, they just they throw their head back as if you just killed them.
They got to do something about that. Like, come on, ref, you gotta. And if you reviewing, you got to get the review right. How does he fall and get the ball back? Isn't that a travel? If nobody knocked that ball loose, nothing.
It's
he didn't
supposed to be a travel, correct?
That ball should have went the other way.
We might have to dig up the NBA rule book again and dust it off because
there's a couple versions of that book though.
Because remember, you can gather, spin, pro op now, so it's like
gather. This whole gather. That's a gather.
That's a travel.
That's a gather now. Okay, gather, spin. Okay.
Gather, Euro step / American step / whatever step they want to make it. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Some people just don't even dribble from the 3-point line.
Oh no, they just gather and walk, and then sets. Gather, walk, set. Gather, walk, set.
Well, he got a long stride, so it just looks like. All right, okay.
Nah, man. Just
try that in the park. Well, I haven't been out in the park playing in a while, so they might let it fly. So I don't know. So anyway, great show tonight, guys. Thank y'all guys so much, man. Thank y'all so much. We will not be on Monday. Monday's a holiday. Enjoy your Memorial Day weekend. Monday we have a show that will be in place. We interviewed a gentleman by the name of Adam Pennington. Adam Pennington is a multi-millionaire who owns he's the CEO of Game Time Watches. Go to his website. I'll have the link in the description. His interview will be on Monday afternoon, I believe, at 12 o'clock. I believe it's set for 12 or 12:30. It'll be in the description. But had a good time talking to him. He's been owning Game Time. He actually created Game Time by himself in his garage. Westchester County guy from New York. And now he's a CEO millionaire. He actually sold the company, bought it back, and made it bigger and better. So you got watches. I think he has the licenses to the NFL. MLB, some others, and you just gotta watch the interview. For all you entrepreneurs out there, it's hard work, man, doing it, man. And this guy, man, he absolutely dropped some nuggets, and we're absolutely gonna have him back on again because he has some other stuff that's coming out, man. So when that stuff come out, we'll have him back on again. But that's what you'll see on Monday afternoon because we won't, like I said, holiday. We won't be on. We won't be on Monday, man. But we'll be back Thursday though. You better believe it. And if something does crazy or something come on, maybe look for us on IG or whatever. We might pop on. One of us might get on and say something. Maybe like if the Panthers sweep me and Dan might drop on the live on Instagram or something like that. So Look for us. We've done that before. We'll do that, man. But we won't have a regular standard show. Okay, party shots. That was my party shot. So I'll go to Mike Mills. Mike Mills, what's up, bro? How are you tonight? Party shots before we get out of here, man. Safe weekend,
man. Nothing too major. Shout out to everybody tuned in. Shout out to my Chasers brethren who couldn't be here tonight. Shout out to all those in the comments. Shout out to Shea for winning MVP. He deserved it.
Yes.
A little side note to the NBA. Can y'all please get these MVP rights instead of like us having to backtrack a year? Because now y'all got to give Jokic the next one. When if y'all had gave Shea his last year, you could have gave Jokic this one.
And can you
make the MVP award about winning again? One of the two. So we can stop retconning MVPs.
And can you do it before the start of the playoffs? They really wanted to give it to him the other in Denver. I was like, no.
Yeah, I don't understand why the end of the season awards aren't given at the end of the season. NBA, NFL, MLB, all of y'all. Because like y'all really killing the facts of the regular season. Why are we having a regular season then?
And when does
you go.
When does the NHL give their end of the year awards?
End of the year.
I knew you was going to say.
Imagine that.
Take a note from the NHL. End of the year. That's what you're supposed to do. Them couple days between the playoffs and the regular season. There you go.
Man. Imagine that.
All right. And that's about it.
Appreciate you, Mills. Dan, what you got for us, sir, before I get out of here, man? Great show tonight, man. Thank you for your segment with the NHL and the WNBA. Dan pulling double duty. Appreciate you, sir.
Well, first, sorry you couldn't be here, and I'm not trying to get on your team. I'm just seeing what I see with my eyeballs here. Still 3-0 about halfway through the second. And then Indiana's down 2 with about 2.5 left in the third to Atlanta. But no, great show. Ryan, miss you too, buddy. Everybody be safe. It's a holiday weekend. If you need to, call an Uber, call a friend. Just don't drink and drive.
That's right. Don't do it. Don't do it. D-Dubs, what you got for us, sir, tonight?
Yo, great show again. Shout outs to all the podcast mates. What else? Nothing too heavy. Enjoy the weekend, holiday weekend. Be safe. Do all the, all the good stuff. Barbecue, whatever that may be. Hang out with the family. And be safe. And we'll do it again. See you Monday.
Fireworks.
Thursday.
Get the professionals to do the fire. Yeah, Thursday. Sorry, not Monday. Yeah, no, we won't be on Monday unless you want to. I'll give you the mic. You can go.
Crack the mic. See what's going on. See what's popping.
Feel free. I'm not doing it.
No doubt.
Take a break. What else I wanted to? Oh, hey, y'all see these beautiful, fresh, new alternate logos? They will absolutely be on some merchandise here within the next week. You'll be able to cop it, get it, whatever your vernacular is. Within the next couple of days, you'll be able to get it. There'll be some more things coming out. You'll be able to get one of those nice thermoses, mugs, mouse pad. DA has been asking for what's that hat when he liked to wear the not boat hat, bucket hat.
Oh, the Gilligan's hat.
Yeah, the Gilligan's
fisherman hat.
So yeah, we're gonna put that on some fisherman hats, Gilligan's hats. Hey, man, just rock our gear, man, and it's good quality stuff. It really is. I actually ordered me another hat. I ordered me a tracksuit jacket. When I be flying and stuff like that, be a little chilly on the plane. I don't ask the pilot to turn the air conditioning down. No, I just put on the jacket.
You don't ask for a warm blanket?
No, I got to pay for that because I got to pay for the seat and I got to pay. Don't start me, bro.
Oh, man. What you flying, Spirit? Oh, yeah.
Nope. You're not going to.
No, then he'd be landing the plane.
Roach infested Spirit Airlines? Yeah, man. Nah, I'm good.
Oh, but Spirit, people be capable for Spirit.
Frontier. Anyway.
Anyway, I guess we can do a travel show or podcast. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to get out of here. Listen, hey, DA had to step off, man. Shout out to DA, man. Love you, bro. Thank you so much for always hanging in there, man. Thank you for E. Couldn't make it with us, but he was in the comments, man. Shout out to E. Shout out to all those in the comments, man. Thank y'all so much, man. Like I said, it helps the algorithm, it helps us grow, and we are growing. We absolutely is. by leaps and bounds. We have noticed it, and this is hard work to do. This is not easy to do. But if it was easy, everybody would be doing it, right? So,
Facts.
yeah. So, listen, we're going to get out of here. On behalf of myself, I'm Kevin O. Warren, your host and moderator, for Daryl D-Dubs Warren, for Dan K, the hockey dude, for Mike Mills, for in their absence, we got James the Angry One Warren, and we got the DA who stepped off here for a little bit, and Ryan D'Souza, our NBA and WNBA guy, man. Yo, this is the Sports Chasers podcast. Y'all be good, be blessed. Have a great Memorial weekend, man. Hey, we'll catch y'all here next Thursday. Peace. Take care.
That's a wrap for today's episode of the Sports Chasers podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube and your favorite podcast platforms, and connect with us on all social media channels for exclusive content and updates. We'd also love for you to join the conversation, share your thoughts, and become part of the Sports Chasers community. And remember to tune in next time for some more real sports talk. Until then, stay frosty.